Yo, people, and welcome to For a Different Lens podcast. I'm your co-host Joe.
I'm Dej.
And I'm Jacob.
How we doing, guys? How we all doing? Everyone bless?
Yeah, man, all okay, all okay. Another Usher week, so just enjoying the fruits
And
of what the man's doing.
and said what? 2 Usher concerts in what, 4 days or so?
Yeah, go enjoy it, man. Go enjoy it. He's not here for too much longer. So
Nah, I hear it
he's not
still.
gonna die. He's not gonna die, but the retirement.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I got a question for you then. What was different to the first show you watched compared to the second show you watched?
A lot. He came out later last night, so he rushed the concert. So a lot of the songs were missed. To be fair, but that didn't bother me because I was only there for the first like 10 to 15 songs that I missed the first time. So I saw all the songs that I needed to see. It was for the other people that was there first time. They wouldn't know it. They wouldn't know any different. You get what I mean? They would have thought that was just how the concert went. But yeah, for me, I'd already seen it, seen the second part and realized how much time he didn't have yesterday. But I think he was ill because there was moments where he'd dance extra and not sing as much just because, and like you could see him at points throwing water over his head and people coming out to like dry him down. So you're thinking, bro, I think he's actually, when they're not well, but they just need to put on the show.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it actually started so late, to be fair.
Jeez, man said Usher's super fan knows the ins and outs of how he operates and everything. But I hear it.
Surprised you weren't with him when you went Selfridges, bro.
Now you can tell. Like, I've watched enough live shows to understand when like an artist on a back-to-back tour like this, you can see when they're on the off night or, when they want other things to be done or the show's not going as planned. Especially as it started at like 9:00 and it's meant to start at 8:15, 8:20. Do you get what I mean? So I knew like a lot of songs were gonna be in there and. But I feel like they planned for that. If anything goes wrong, play this song here. If anything goes wrong, play that song there. Because that's what he did. He like played Pop Your Colour at a period where the UK crowd would just be, okay, cool. He's playing this song, so we're going to just jump and dance so I can do a mad thing quickly. So, yeah, it's quite interesting when you watch it from a perspective of like knowing what the show looks like. So you can kind of see the art of the change and the perspectives and that sort of stuff.
Fair. It must be mad for artists though, like when obviously they've got, say, especially if we feel like this is his final big tour, when you're ill, you can't function, everything, but you just gotta give it that go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Because you'd imagine like they're like anyone else, like, but in a profession, when you're ill, you can sometimes call in sick. When you're ill and you have a show to do. There's no calling in sick on that day because how many people you got to refund? 20,000 people, then reschedule a date? Nah, bro. Like, you're going to go out and if you can't sing, let the backing track sing for a piece of time. You sing 5-6 words in the song, let the crowd sing for you. You get what I mean? But you got to go out there and do your job.
Especially when these tickets come out, over a year ago? I remember I was saying at the time, I think 14 months in advance, for instance.
Not even next to a payday. This was a random day.
So, no, but it's Usher. He's always going to put on a performance. All the people that went first time that were there last night, they told me, oh, it's sensational, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, oh, you didn't realize that he didn't sing My Boo and you didn't realize he didn't sing these songs because you were in the moment. But if you don't know any better if you ain't been before, innit? So, they enjoyed it. So, to the real Usher fans, I told them go again so you can see the real concert.
Go again, And any what was I gonna say? Any special guests?
Nah, bro. The show started late. There was nothing. But I knew that kind of would have happened.
No
when
cherries.
The show started that late, there's nothing. It's just gonna be Usher. There's just gonna be Usher.
There was no cherries yesterday.
There was, but he was even rushing that. He was just basically just dashing them out. Just here, take it. I need to get somewhere else.
I say, you take a cherry, you take a cherry, you take a cherry.
Yeah, it wasn't. There was no like. There was no that length of the show was meant to be like 15 minutes, and it ended up being like 3 or 4, just because.
Fair.
Bam.
Yeah. Boy, man like Usher, a few more to go anyway. But yeah, let's go straight into some maybe something that will make Jacob smile. Some Champions League. Obviously, we were both busy the evening of the game, but I caught up after and watched the highlights, everything. I don't know if you had the chance, and Dej, I'm not sure if you watched the game either. But Arsenal's result versus Real Madrid, 3-0, and those Declan Rice free kicks. Talk to me, people. Talk to me, my boys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? Yeah, I was watching the match. I was watching the first half, and it ended 0-0. I was like, oof, this is a bit boring. But I remember during the day, earlier that day, I was speaking to one of my colleagues, and I said, Arsenal could do him if they play the team and not the occasion. But then I didn't think too much of it. Then when I basically went to sleep at 0-0. Then when I woke up, I was seeing 3-0. I'm thinking, jeez, what's going on there? Then I see the free kicks, and I'm like, jeez, these free kicks are serious. That second one called blimey, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say about that one. But nah, man, credit to Arsenal, man. They got the first game. They need to go and collect on the second one now.
Yeah, that's my main thing. Obviously, we were busy, but I was watching it while we were busy. I'll be real.
Yeah,
I was watching it, and then
must be
obviously when
nice.
yeah, then when we left, I was watching in the car on the way home. So I got home around the 63rd minute. So I was able to see our last two goals. Well, in the house anyway.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it was a great result for the club on the night. One of the greatest nights, one of our greatest Champions League nights so far.
Definitely.
But you know, I've been an Arsenal fan for a long, long time. So I can't get too high over a 3-0 result at home because I've seen some things in my life. And the Bernabeu, if we go there, we need to really... I want to see Diego Simeone, a special in Simeone football. I don't want us to attack. I don't even want us to go over the halfway line. I want us to sit
when
there.
Arteta, they're like this.
Yeah.
Not even
Oh,
over the halfway line, Jacob.
Brother, why? 3-0. Defend for your life. Because if Real Madrid score in the first 2 minutes, first 5-10 minutes, yeah, the game is going to get out of hand. We've seen them do this one too many times.
If anyone's got black magic in that competition, is Real Madrid, bro. So,
They did to City.
but I think you guys offer. I actually think you guys offer.
Yeah, but
So
Champions League has
like
been
the
good
late
this year.
great Kobe said, job's not done.
It's not.
No, you're not wrong,
It's not. It's not. But big up Declan Rice though, man. Big him up for
bro. Those are some of the best free kicks, both of them in a long time in modern day.
100%. And just for the simple fact of I see like online he's been getting a lot of slander and he's not worth the money. Well, he stepped up in the big moments and proved that, sometimes the moment he steps up and proved that he is worth the money. And we're not playing him in the 6, we're playing him in the 8 now, and I think he's really excelled in that role. And I feel like he's a real driving force on the Arsenal side. And yeah, we can go to the Bernabeu and sit there 0-0. I'll smile. It'll be the happiest I'll be for a 0-0 ever. If we win 1-0, but I don't mind. 0-0, I'm happy, bro. So we just need to get through and then deal with our next opponents because it's not getting any easier.
Do you think that as a single game is Arsenal's best Champions League result ever? Or
Nah, do you know what? Nah, I wouldn't say so. I prefer, my preference of result is that 1-0 in the Bernabeu when Thierry Henry.
Right.
That one is my single best result. Just because the team they had back then and we were really doing it literally one man. It was a one man thing, you get what I mean?
I hear it, but that one man is Henry, bro.
Exactly, the greatest. He's the greatest.
That one man is D-man.
Whereas
Yeah.
now your team don't have a fit striker. Do you know what I mean? And
That's
even
also
even if you did, they're not. You guys still want a starting 9, for instance, and then
100%.
Saka's basically at 75%. Apparently, I saw the Spanish press like they were giving him bells, and they apparently called him his nickname's the Torturer.
Yeah, man.
Who's Saka?
Yeah, bro,
Saka.
Saka's the real deal, bro. I've been doing it. But yeah, go on. Sorry, you were saying Bernabeu.
Yeah, no, I just feel like that result in the Bernabeu, because that was our last time in the Champions League final.
Oh yes, that was that season, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
our last time in the Champions League final. So I can't say this is our biggest result if we go and do a madness and lose next. You get what I mean? Next
Yeah,
round. So the biggest result for me was that because that set the platform for what we could do. And Thierry Henry at the time was top three best players in the world. I'm not going to sit here and say any Arsenal player is a top three in anything in the world. So,
I
um,
Saka. I think a couple of the Spanish press, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, have said Saka's the best right winger in the world.
nah, because you got Mo Salah.
I know, but this is how much people rate him as well, which is actually good to see. Do you know what I mean?
100%. I agree. I agree with what they're saying in terms of his levels and the difference he makes to the Arsenal team and the belief and confidence he instills in the team, as you can see when he's on the pitch to when he's not on the pitch. But
Mm,
I wouldn't go as far as calling him the best right winger in the world. When I can see Lamine Yamal doing what he's doing
yeah,
at
yeah,
his tender age, when I see what Mo Salah does in the same league as Salah, you get what I mean? In the same league as Saka. Um, so yeah, nah, great result, great result. It might turn out to be the greatest result in our history, but you know, for right now, I'm sticking to Thierry Henry's game, Bernabeu, 2000. And I want to say I don't even know the date, but I remember watching it in my house, the
yeah.
ITV. Great game, great days, the
Mate,
great days of
I
my
swear it
Back
childhood.
was that
back
one,
back on it when it was free.
that Henri goal. I'm sure that was the first leg, and then when they went to Highbury, it was a 0-0 draw, wasn't it?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
That's
See,
why it was the greatest win because it was all done on just defensive prowess and one man's brilliance in one moment.
yeah, yeah. Fair. What a result. To be fair, Madrid, like I've been seeing their results and watching some of their games over the last month, and they've just been so on and off. And like even just going through people's tweets or analysis of the game, they were like, Madrid just looked like they didn't want to be there for certain
Mm,
aspects. Then even though we don't like to use the stats ratings so much to enhance whatever. Like Courtois was Madrid's highest rated player for a lot of the game and then after the game. So that
mm,
showed like it could have been worse by far.
100%.
I think Courtois is the best keeper in the world as well, but like Real Madrid just didn't show up disgustingly. And I mean, yeah,
That's the thing, though. But when you got Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham, Valverde, it takes is one game
yeah,
for them
It's a
to just
long
say,
list.
"Oh, we're ready," and 5 goals can be flying in that back of the net. That's why I'm confident and I love the club Arsenal, but I'm not going mad like the other Arsenal fans just yet because I said we have been here before in many aspects in our lives, and they have heartbroke. They've given me heartbreak, so
as in the
I'm not.
PTSD kicking in for real.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Liverpool. You guys know that day.
But I hear it. I hear it. Me personally, like I said, I think you guys are going to go through. I think you've caught Madrid at a perfect time,
Mm.
and they could be slipping up the league as well because Barca are just on it. So, yeah. And it's funny because, funnily enough, I was watching like Prince William today talking. Yesterday, him talking to Ali McCoy and Rio Ferdinand yesterday, and they asked him about you lot's game, and he was like how phenomenal you guys were. Um, and then he was saying like because he's an Aston Villa fan, so he was at the
Mm-hmm.
PSG Aston Villa game. His analysis of like PSG, their game against Liverpool, etc. And he even stated he was like since Mbappe's left, like not to dig at Mbappe, but like the forward line
PSG have been
effectively work
sensational.
harder. Everyone's in line. And then
Mm.
people it just made me go back to what people were saying in the Arsenal Madrid game. Like Madrid's front three, for argument's sake, Arsenal could just beat their press because they wasn't pressing. They weren't tracking back. But then you saw PSG's wingers yesterday. They were like helping back. Due
Oh,
was helping
good.
win the ball.
Mm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
boom, counter Quavra as well. Boom, other end. And yeah, so but when you've got these superstar names, I won't get at Madrid because they're the holders. Do you know what I mean? They've been winning this competition, and sometimes it does take time to gel. But like when if all these young G's aren't going to track back yet, that's not a great sign. Whereas like say Neymar, Messi, not to give them a blight, but do you know what I mean? Slightly older,
Yeah,
all that stuff.
It was the greatest of the great that weren't tracking back before. Now it's just okay. And I'm not saying Mbappe and them aren't the greatest of the great, because the greatest of the great right now.
Yeah,
But we're
yeah,
talking about the greatest of the great of all time
all
that weren't
times.
tracking back. And now it's okay, cool. Yeah, you guys stay up there. We'll use you in attack, but you're gonna against a team like Arsenal where we're attacking with essentially 10. You
And
can't.
just
No striker, bro.
Yeah,
and Arteta will not allow Arsenal to not work hard. That's like a
exactly.
minimum requirement. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and
But
then
speak. Go on.
quickly, if you guys saw PSG Aston Villa, as I touched up on that game,
Yep.
Yep.
PSG right now they look alongside Barcelona, arguably best team in Europe right now.
Yeah, footballing wise, they play the best football. Like if
Yeah,
I'm gonna want to sit down and watch a football match, a PSG game is the one I'm gonna choose. The
They
young
play like
talent
a
they've got
proper
across the
team.
board, the simple fact of the way they pass the ball around the pitch, the trust they have in each and every person on the field, the movements. You got Usman Dembele playing like the best player in the world.
another
Um,
contender. Yeah,
you've got the perfect balance of youth and experience, even though your experience isn't old. Do you get what I mean? You have the experience that have been just playing for so long that they're not old, but they've experienced enough. And yeah, you've got a great balance in terms of how that team's working, and yeah, they're very, very scary because once they get going, yeah, it's a hard team to stop.
I
Dej,
feel like they
did you watch?
play. Yeah, I watched it. I feel like they play similar to Arsenal.
They play way better football than Arsenal. I'll be real.
Way
Like,
way
but
better. What?
I'm
Like,
I'm I'm just talking about in terms of their shape. Yeah, they play similar to Arsenal, but they just play at a way better level, in my opinion.
the tempo's
From the way that
faster.
from the way that they use their wingers here to attack, yeah, and the way their wingers attack is just sick. Like, and I like the way that Dembele has that freedom, yeah, of attacking. I feel like Saka should have that kind of freedom in it and be spoiled like that. And I think that's what you was getting at weeks ago when you said that when Joe was saying Saka needs to be like that luxury kind of attacker now. I
I
see
hear
that in
you.
Dembele.
I hear you, but I don't know if you can give that. Why I say I don't know if you can give that luxury to Saka is because I don't know if Saka can do the. Dembele's both feet are the same.
Yeah,
That's the difference. Like Saka on the right wing, yeah, is perfect for the right wing because he wants to do what he can do, cut in and go down the line and do this thing and that thing. With Dembele, he can actually do everything. Like I wouldn't get Saka to go deep and play a diag. Do you get what I mean? I'm not gonna tell.
you could probably do it though.
I know, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you be in the likes of there, like also with Arsenal and PSG, the difference is PSG have more than one winger. They don't rely on just one man. Arsenal,
Yeah,
we rely on a right winger. Saka, if Saka's not there, we are likely to lose. You get what I mean?
and PSG's front three. There's the in their big games, they're not starting a proper nine. Dembele's been in the middle, so I'd say him
Yeah.
and Saka's luxury is different because Dembele's got more the nine
Fr-
slash free role,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
when I say Saka, kind of on the cheating aspect, is more in comparison to Salah. Even though Salah tracks back, Saka tracks back crazily. Do you know what I mean? But can probably slightly minimize that if Timber, for instance, can hold his own even a bit longer and stuff. So that was a bit mine. But yeah, PSG's fluidity is just unreal, and it's just let's go that way at
Mm-hmm.
It's at
skill
maximum.
level. Yeah, Doué first half was superb. Then Quava just took over the reins, and like they can just bring on Barcola. Whereas the Liverpool leg, it was Barcola starting and then Doué coming. It's just like, bruv, like
Mm-hmm.
United need to get their hands on one of these French young ballers. Find the next one in League One, bruv.
We get the
No,
wrong ones, fam.
no. It's unfortunately ain't no one coming to that club no more, man.
We
To
get
be
the
fair,
wrong ones, bro.
United actually apparently spoke to Doué's camp, but I think Doué just wanted PSG. It ended up being out of PSG by a minute, but like
Yeah, yeah.
that's
The
what I'm
money
saying.
wants
Like
you want.
now PSG are stacking up the best French young G's. There's only so much they can get. Like another one of these top Prem clubs, bro, you just got to get in the mix, bruv.
PSG have done correctly what Chelsea tried to do.
Mm.
That's what it is. Like they correctly bought players, they've correctly brought through players and signed the right talent that's gonna mesh properly, not just
Yeah,
sign everybody and hope for the best. So
yeah.
that's what I feel like PSG have done. And yeah, they're on the tear, and anyone that's gonna see them in this Champions League, you're in for a troubled night, man.
Well, I mean, if Arsenal go through and PSG go through, they meet up next, isn't it?
I
So
know, bro. I didn't say we're in for a troubled night because it's gonna be a long
yeah,
day. But the thing is you're playing the game. It's who's turning up on that day. But I've seen PSG dominate everybody.
mm,
Like it's not even a case of like they're not. They've dominated Liverpool over two legs.
yeah.
Clearly, they've dominated Villa, and I know they're about to dominate Villa again. They're gonna come to the Emirates. Emirates, we can dominate them. We go
Because
to the
sorry,
we
I was
go
just
to.
going to say they wrapped up the league last weekend, if I'm not mistaken, and they're unbeaten in the league as well. Actually,
They
So
wrapped
you
it
know
up
what they're
last
playing
week.
for. So you know what they're playing for. It's
yeah,
crazy. It's crazy.
it's
But
true.
this Champions League has been sensational. This is when it gets real. This is when you really see the best of the best.
Mm. But also credit to Villa for getting this far. Like
It's a good goal they scored too.
Unai, yeah, it was actually. Unai Emery's done a hell of a job. Obviously, they're not out, so we can't say they're out. But whether this being a step too far, who knows? But they can potentially build on this in the summer if they qualify for Europe, for instance. It'll be easier for them to get certain players. But they've got the infrastructure, they've got the club size, they've got the money because their owners are up.
Yep.
And they've started to be challenging other clubs for players. And but who's to say, for instance, they signed? I don't think he'll stay there, but if they were to get Rashford permanently, that's a big statement for them alone because it's Villa.
They would
It's
just
So
only
sign
40
it.
mil. It's only
yeah,
40 mil.
Yeah, it's
I just
40
don't
mil.
think he's gonna stay. That
If it depends on if they're in the Champions League again, innit? Because Man
yeah,
United are going to be in the Premier League and FA Cup and League Cup. So if
even if it's not coming back to United, I just think, for instance, if PSG wanted another attacker, he'd want his camp to start the talks with them. Do you know what I mean? Or
I get you, but like Rashford is not better than
no, he's
what
not.
they've
But apparently,
got.
they want another attacker, and for them, it
Yeah.
might be a brand kind of thing because they can just rotate. It's like Barca. I reckon
Mm.
Rashford will also go there if they were on him. Like
Of
those
course,
two
no,
clubs, because of the stature, like
yeah.
everything
You
is
don't turn it
just
down. You don't turn down them clubs.
yeah. Even if you know you're not going to be a star,
Mm.
well, at this point, but yeah, it's nuts. But obviously
I got a
the
little
first
spanner in
leg's
the works though.
gone.
Obviously, not to put any bad energy out there in it, but even though PSG, this is a new look PSG, yeah, they do have history of fumbling what should be an easy match.
Yeah, but
We've
that's
seen it
against
year on year.
again. No, but that's against again the greatest of the great. They ain't fumbled games against teams that are just nobodies. They've fumbled games against Messi and Neymar.
No, what about United when they fumbled
I
against
was
us?
gonna say that one.
The handball
Bro,
one when you man cheated.
we didn't
That's
cheat,
it.
bro.
That's
They
it.
gave
That's
it
it.
to
When
us.
we cheated.
What did you win that game? 2-1.
3-1. We had to win. We were 2 goals down, and we went through an away goal.
Yeah, but you man weren't a bad team then. You're comparing United now to that United. Like you man weren't a bad team.
I know, but we weren't. We definitely weren't favourites to go through.
But
Then.
we were down though, like
And that's what we done. We got the early goal because I think Lukaku scored really early in
Yeah,
that game.
he
And
did.
then
But where did you? And then Rashford scored the pen and all that sort of stuff. You man weren't
yeah,
that. You man weren't a bad team then.
yeah. No, I know, but like
nah, but PSG were
they're
like
12 points.
PSG in it, and
Yeah, they've got.
they should have knocked us out. Let's be honest, bro. Like
No, they weren't this
they were
PSG though.
up. No, but
Yeah,
they
They
but
were
weren't this
up. Like
PSG.
they had a good
even
lead. They had the
even the
same lead
PSG,
that they had against Villa.
even the PSG that had the lead against Barcelona, you shouldn't be losing from 4-0 up.
No. With that Barcelona team, anything, bro. Neymar wasn't a mad thing.
Of course, that Neymar performance still to this day for me is one of it's up there with the best individual performances I've ever seen by any player
Mm-hmm.
my whole life.
Neymar wasn't a mad thing. Messi wasn't even part. Messi was just enjoying the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Suarez. All the team was too mad.
yeah. No, it was.
They've only fumbled it twice, you know, the Man United one and that one.
I feel like they got
I
one
feel
more in
like,
them,
yeah, I feel like there's one more.
but I might be wrong. But either way,
They've only actually fumbled it twice. They just usually at home win and away from home just do a madness. But they've seemed to have changed that, especially with the Liverpool one. Like
where
going to Anfield and doing what they did. I'm sure Villa Park is going to be a walk in the park for this new look PSG.
no, I fully expect them to go through because they'll treat the game as if it's a 0-0. Like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this kind of team, especially, bruv, like, yeah, I feel this PSG team, they've got the best fullbacks in the world, both in their positions. Arguably the best midfielder in the world in Vitinha, and then the most fluid front three. I would say
They've got.
Barca's front three is the best in the world, but PSG's is probably the most fluid.
They might just have the best player in the world right now in Usman Dembele. They just might have that. So
Me personally, I wouldn't. As much as I rate them, but I wouldn't. Because they're doing so well, he'll be a contender for Ballon d'Or, and rightfully so, innit? But
I'm not saying for the awards. I'm just saying the best player on paper, like on not even on paper, on performance and what output and what he's doing. Like if you look at it bar for bar,
yeah,
how
no,
many man up?
he's up there.
There's not 5 men in the world that you're gonna say are better than him.
Oh yeah. Obviously, in terms of that,
Yeah.
he's like a strong contender alongside, say, Rafinha, even Salah to an extent. Because Salah was leading until then all this nonsense, and apparently Rafinha's, I say nonsense, good nonsense for Liverpool. I see apparently Rafinha's leading like in terms of Ballon d'Or race and stuff like that. So
I'll
it'll
be
be
real.
interesting.
Rafinha's having a great season, but we are letting football go to shits if we let him win the Ballon d'Or.
Mate,
Listen, it don't matter where you start, bro.
No. Rafinha's a sensational football player. He's Brazil captain right now. He's doing an absolute mad thing. He's also Barcelona captain. But I'm just saying, I don't know if we can allow that as a footballing world just yet.
right. For me, Yamal's probably the best player. Anyway, already.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
might be the
exactly.
best player in the world. So it's nuts.
It's
It's
up for grabs.
crazy.
It's up for grabs.
It's crazy, bruv. But it'll be interesting. But yeah, we'll see. If we got time, we'll touch up on Champions League next week. NBA, as the regular season is about to end. Yes, the Nuggets firing their championship winning coach of 2 years ago, Mike Malone. Um, don't know. I don't know what to say, but I want to hear like you two's thoughts on that. Like, I don't know if you saw it straight away. 'Cause we saw it straight away. Actually,
I don't think I saw it straight away, but I did read something about it today. Because when I first saw it, I thought it was fake. Because I was thinking, why would they get rid of him? But then I
everyone
was
thinks
doing
fake
some,
news this year in the
bro.
NBA.
Like sometimes it's because you'd
I
think that
hear it.
these guys will stay, right? But I was just thinking, why would they get rid of him? But then I saw another report that says they got rid of Westbrook. They waived him.
Huh?
No. That's not real.
So is that one not real either?
Westbrook
Bro,
being
you
waived.
got me having Googling now. Like,
Nah, Westbrook.
Bro,
They
see
can't.
see, I don't know what to believe.
I don't know if you can waive people at this point in the season anyway.
yeah, I don't think they would
Yeah,
anyway.
everyone that's on your roster is in your playoff roster.
Fair enough. But anyway, I was just thinking it's a bit odd to do it before the playoffs. Because what kind of replacement would you have? And what kind of energy do you want to put into your team?
New manager bounce.
Does that work in
But
basketball?
But I don't know. But the Nuggets, I don't know what. I don't know what the Nuggets' plan of action is. I just feel like, obviously, what I've seen and read about, Mike Malone and the GM didn't get on. I feel like the relationships were breaking down within the organization, and the Kroenke family obviously felt like it was the best time to make the decision because, you know, winning masks a lot of things. So if they happen to go on a mad playoff run and win the championship, then how do you sack a man that you wanted to sack 2 years ago when he won the championship? And then you're going to go, oh, okay, well, we can't sack him again now. We also can't sack the GM. So you sit there and you go, if we sack him now, winning can't mask anything. So that's why I feel like the sackings happened now instead of later on.
Yeah.
Not saying I condone it or if it's a good sacking. I don't think it's a good thing because Mike Malone is one of the top 5 NBA coaches.
Facts.
So, he'll get another job easy. But it's one of those things where you sit there and go, well, the NBA, no one's safe. We've seen it
bro.
this year.
I think that's one thing we 100% know, bruv. Because yeah, I saw Windy say basically what you said. Um, there was reports that Stan Kroenke wanted to get rid of him anyway. And like you said, if they did have a playoff run, it just makes things even weirder. But now still like, so he knew he was going to sack him basically, but the timing now is just crazy. Obviously, sacking the GM as well. So I think he covered his back, or the ownership covered their back by sacking both of them because they both
Yeah.
didn't get along. So you're not picking a side.
Hmm.
You're just getting rid of both. And then, yeah, I think one of the assistant managers coaching first head coach jobs, like, and there was supposedly a lot of fallout or problems with players. A lot of the players weren't happy with the treatment, for instance, Jamal Murray was getting, and even Russell Westbrook to an extent, how much Michael Malone likes
Liked
Russell
him.
Westbrook and stuff. Jokic, you can give the bly in it, but like
Yeah, yeah.
the others, if Murray's not performing to the level he's at meant to be at, it's like, bro. And then yeah,
Yeah,
it's an interesting one.
very, very odd decision, but I feel like it's just, as you said, it covers a lot of backs, covers a lot of tracks, and it allows them to make a decision where winning can't cure something anymore. So
Yeah.
we're getting rid of you now, and the GM's contract was up at the end of the season.
Oh, is
So
it?
yeah, they when they were doing renegotiations, they weren't ready to hand him something new. So um, usually, what this would lead to is a full rebuild, but you can't rebuild with a man like Jokic, and you've got a
Nope.
lot of high-paid players there. You got four of your Jokic, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, all making 30 plus.
But I think they're looking to potentially trade MPJ this off season. Sorry, I was just mumbling in my mind. And then I think the way Gordon and Murray's contracts are, it's not crazy, especially if they get rid of Michael Porter Jr. in it. So
Understood, but then you got to bring in a new head coach now,
yeah,
and then you got to figure out if and who wants MPJ. Obviously,
teams
but
would.
especially
I
for
mean,
a shooter for that money, just a pure real just shooter. Do you get what I
but
mean? I don't feel like
he might
he's
just
tall,
need
he's long.
somewhere different. Like
Understood. I just don't feel like you should blow it up now. Like it's what you won a championship in 23. It's only been 2 years. You
yeah,
sacked the head coach. Go new head coach, one more year, see what you can do. If nothing happens, then start trading away pieces and build again. But no one's getting any younger.
if there's talks though, like of say even a player's not getting involved for a while, because you can even see like the only three players I was saying, me and someone on Twitter weren't going back and forth, but we are talking about it today. The only three consistent players for the Nuggets this year have been Jokic, obviously, Christian Brown, which is spelled like Braun, and
Mm,
Aaron Gordon when he's healthy. But Aaron Gordon's been injured quite a lot this season. But he's played, they've got a really good winning record, for instance. So
right.
whereas everyone else is just like was starting off fine, but it's been kind
Hmm.
of a pattern of Russ's last couple teams, bar the Wizards, where he starts off fine and then it just kind of like the
Peters
fan
out.
base is effectively turned on him, all that kind of stuff, and the, it's,
Why, why,
it's
why
weird.
did they
But
turn on him
again,
like this?
don't know his style of play, bro. There's a
It's
time
just
and place, but Jokic
decision
wanted him,
making.
so
The math, it's just decision making with Russ. But at the end of the day, regardless of who the head coach is, you don't want to see Denver in the playoffs because
yeah,
they've still got Mr. Number 15 and he has Jokic on his back.
yeah,
So
you're not wrong.
regardless of what's going on right now and all the dysfunction, you just don't want to see them in the playoffs because you don't know what they're gonna get. And if they just happen to get healthy at the right time and
Hmm.
just get them clicking together, it's a long day.
You're not
Yeah.
wrong. You're not wrong. Where I mean, the Grizzlies sacked their coach a couple weeks ago, whatever. Then the Nuggets said we can one up you. So, and the worst thing, both teams will be in the playoffs in some
Yeah,
capacity. So it's just
yeah.
like, yeah, it's interesting. Before we wrap up, Luca's emotional night back in Dallas. Um, I don't know if you guys saw. pre-game, before the game, which is pre-game, during the game, and then after the game, everything else. Like sensational performance. After so much emotion, he showed where most players wouldn't show that much emotion.
Yeah.
But yeah, thoughts.
You know what? I didn't even get to see this one. I only saw the when the reporter asked JJ about the one of the last sequences, and he was like, I don't know what the hell that was.
They were
Oh,
having
when they were
fun
just
then,
messing around. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
LeBron was moving like he was 6 years old again, just throwing the ball up and
bro.
down.
It's because they kept on winning the rebound, and they literally extended that play by like a minute.
Hmm. Yeah.
Rebound, but yeah,
Nah, you could see what it meant to him. You could see what like Dallas meant to him as a man, and like he felt like he kind of grew into the man he is today from Dallas. And how the fans treated him, and the organization not so much, but the fans, the people, the city. You could see what it meant to him, because crying in the pre-game interview, not in the pre-game when they're doing your tribute video, I've never seen that before. So
yeah, just
you could see the emotion, and I thought that would have played a part into his performance, but it basically fueled his performance. So,
bro.
um, so
Sorry,
yeah, man.
just before you go, because most players on their first game back, obviously they're not emotional like he is, but they rarely ever perform that good. Like we
Nah,
saw it even with Jimmy Butler a couple of weeks ago.
wasn't great. He was bad.
Yeah,
Steph
but
wasn't there though, but
yeah,
This is a
but yeah,
different kind of let go, though.
yeah. No, don't get me
He
wrong,
didn't
but
force
just
his
like
way out or nothing.
I was listening to Richard Jefferson, and he was like, sometimes fans don't understand how players really feel when they get traded, bruv. Like, and for Luka to then perform the way he did, he said most people are their heads are too scrambled once the game actually starts that they can't really perform. That's why they don't really get criticized on their comeback games. Whereas like Luka's cried, and then he's put up his best performance of the season.
yeah, yeah, it's true.
That
It's
just
true.
shows how great he is. And again, not to give my guy credit, but for him to get traded the way he did, he fell to the right teammates' hands.
Yeah,
Because LeBron just helped him through this process. Bro, he's given him he's given him the keys that he wanted to give AD.
yeah, yeah. All the keys that he said he wanted to give Kyrie in Cleveland.
Bro,
Yeah,
Luka's got the keys. You can see like he's all hugging him before the last one. They're making the crowd cheer for him, everything. Bro, him and Austin Reeves start singing and leading the chants and saying Ali Boumbaye, bruv.
in the opponent's building.
That's
Bro,
mad.
Luka was getting cheered every basket.
Yeah, yeah, but that's why I feel like you've had his best performance, because the familiarity. Like,
Yeah,
he's used to them rims. He scored 70 points in that building.
yeah,
That
it's
is a
true.
Yeah,
normal.
he's done
That's
things
comfort for him.
already.
That's comfortable.
It's true.
That's more comfortable than the Lakers arena for him. He can shoot in that arena. 45 points is just another walk in the park for him. Just another day.
It's true. No, you're not wrong. You're not
So,
wrong. What a performance, man.
best shooting performance from three this year for him as well, is it?
I think it's definitely up there, yeah.
Yeah, because he was at one point I saw he was 6 or 10 or 7 or 10. So I was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
his percentage was high, and
And
but,
then I think probably the timing of the schedule will probably benefit the Lakers even more, because if they're going to be locked in the way they've been the last week, like, bro, you're locking in right into the playoffs. Luka's got that emotional performance out of his way, and them still performed. And then LeBron's looking healthy now from his injuries. Like, boy,
yeah,
Dallas. And they were also chanting "Fire Nico Harrison." That was funny. Fire Nico. That was funny.
yeah. But as much as Nico made the decision, ownership need to step up, because it was their decision.
100.
Yeah, of
But you're
course.
gonna just go off. He's a fool man. He's a fool guy. But hey, that's the business you work in, and you wanted to do that. So
Yeah, but I mean, I think he put that idea to the owners.
Like that.
Man's having
man,
coffee with what's the Lakers GM, Rob Pelinka,
Rob
months
Pelinka.
ago. Just and put the idea, bro. It's like one of you man saying, Joe, I got 10 mil for you, and you're like, ah, shut up, man, or whatever. And you just slap my face with 10 mil, and you say sign the contract and not tell anyone. Slack, bro.
Yep.
Slack.
Yeah,
You're
it's
gonna
crazy.
take it like that. Rob Pelinka's like, oh my god, and he'll get credit for being
Yeah,
there.
doing nothing. For doing nothing.
It's like him getting some credit for LeBron going, even though it was Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
He
You
was
know.
there in both occasions. He's got 2 top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I big up Rob Pelinka, bruv. He said yes and he pulled the trigger.
Right place, right time.
Oh
Robert.
my days. What you lot saying? Song of the week.
Yeah, man.
Go on.
One
Who
of
wants
you
to
will
go
have to go
first?
first, though.
Huh?
I can go first. I'll go, Drew. Oh,
Go
I
on.
can go first again. But you know you're just gonna get another Usher song, so
I knew it.
Yeah, which one, though?
I knew it.
we're gonna get Usher Good Kisser. That's what it is this week. Usher Good Kisser.
Did you hear that in the
Good
first
kisser.
concert or the second concert?
I heard that in both, but it's
Okay,
just
cool.
been it's just one of my favorites. It's the
Fair.
beat and everything about the song is sensational.
Have I even heard that song before? That's the question.
You must have.
But I probably
Maybe.
have. I just not. You know me and titles. Whereas Deja, I thought Deja would go, oh yeah, that one. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, no,
I'd
that's
have to listen to it still. Well, I can't remember it for now.
mine is Chris Brown, Go Crazy.
Is that with
Oh,
Gunna?
big
Young Thug.
tune.
Oh yes, big
Big
tune.
tune.
Top 5.
So my one is oldie but goodie. LL Cool J doing it.
Doing it
Jeez.
and doing it and doing it well.
Wow.
Yep.
Jeez. So
track
Jacob,
right
yours is.
Usher Good Kisser.
Mine is Chris Brown, Go Crazy, and Dej.
LL Cool J doing it.
Lovely jubbly. Well, thank you to the people then for always tuning in, for commenting, messaging us, everything. Keep it up, and we shall keep on producing for you guys. As Dej likes to say,
You tell a friend to tell a friend.
and I was gonna say, does he even still like saying it, bro? Jacob,
Like and subscribe.
get me. But yes, what Jacob just said, like and subscribe. We need you guys to be hitting that subscribe button for us. Keep on supporting us. Like we're doing this. Obviously, we're doing this for us, but we're doing this for you guys as well. And keep on liking, sharing everything. You get me? Again, appreciate you guys. Joe signing out.
Dej signing out.
Jacob signing out.
Thank you for listening.
Peace out. Oh no, peace out. A-Town down.
That's it. That's it. Peace out. Hey, down. I am me.
Oh no.